Oh, I wanted that violin so badly. When I was in third grade, the school decided to introduce us to musical instruments. There were lots of horns, some cymbals, drums, a few things called woodwinds, and just one, violin. Of course, this special instrument went to the most popular kid in the class. So I decided right then and there that when Christmas came around, that would be on my wish list. To make it easy on my folks, that would be the only thing I would write down. I knew, in my heart of hearts, that my mother loved me so much, and heard me talk about it so much, that she would make it happen. On Christmas morning, we rushed to the tree and began handing out the presents. Not surprisingly, I received the usual allotment of socks, some underwear, a book, a candy cane, and an orange. Then my brother reached behind the tree and pulled out a box that had a big bow on it and my name. I knew it. Here it was. And after ripping off the bow and the wrapping paper, the tape around the edges of the box, and the tissue paper, I held it in my hands. A clarinet. A shiny black clarinet with shiny silver keys. Everything made of plastic, of course. I was crushed. I tried to put on a good face and pretended that my tears were those of joy, but I was 9 years old, and this was perhaps my first experience of having hopes crushed, with disappointment shattering dreams. I could have received a violin that Christmas, and at some point, probably very quickly since I have no real musical talent, set it aside to gather dust, or get broken, or put in a bag for a thrift store. But I received something better. I began to develop a different relationship with my mother. Oh, she'd always been loving, supportive, encouraging, and had given me the gift that has lasted a lifetime, the joy of reading. Now she began to share with me some of the realities of the life we had lived, one of limited financial resources. She began to see me, to treat me, to speak to me in different ways. She began to help me to understand that there are other gifts besides those in boxes with fancy papers and ribbons. She might not have been able to provide us with the sort of gifts our friends got for their birthdays or their Christmases, but she always made sure that we had good quality food to eat, clean clothes, a roof over our heads, and in the process, teaching something about putting the needs of those one loves above personal desires and dreams. She didn't have a car to drive us to the store, or to school, or to church, so we walked everywhere. When we walked, she modelled greeting neighbours, friends, and strangers with a smile, a kind word, a conversation, a listening ear. In the process, she was teaching something about what it means to another person to be recognised, welcomed, affirmed. At one point she ended up having to go to work so we could survive as a family, and while the work was long, hard and wearying, she always had the time to help us with our schoolwork, to listen to our problems, to teach us those skills like cooking and cleaning, ironing and laundry, which helped us to care for ourselves. In the process, she taught about the grace it takes for a person simply to do the best they can, to care the best they can, to love the best they can, and to be comfortable with the person they were. In a different family, in a different life, in a different time, I could have received that violin at Christmas, simply because that's what I wanted. Then the next year it would have been something else I wanted, and the next year something else, and so on, until I had a lifetime of getting everything I ever wanted, and ending up with a lifetime of emptiness. But that Christmas, I began to receive different gifts. grace, kindness, understanding, a listening ear, an eye to see those around me, a way of viewing the world which was not based on greed or accumulation or selfishness. And not just at Christmas, but on just about every day, I received gifts that cost my mother nothing but her time, her heart, her soul, her love, and which may be the most precious gifts I have ever received from her, from anyone, from everyone, and the most precious gifts we can share with others.